Hi there everyone, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawwalker, your host, and today we're going to be checking out this new single from deathcore band Lorna Shore, Cursed to Die. Lorna Shore have obviously come a lot more to the forefront of modern deathcore, especially with last year's EP, And I Return to Nothingness. That obviously had the track To the Hellfire, which blew up an unpredictable amount. I mean, that song is good. It's really good. It's a great track. It's definitely turned into one of those songs that I think has kind of become entry-level bait in the minds of some people. I don't necessarily think that it's that exactly. I do think that that is a strong indicator of like someone's presence or at least wherewithal of like this genre. I think it's a little bit unfair to kind of lump Lorna Shore, at least people who started listening to Lorna Shore post To the Hellfire, into a kind of like gatekeeping category. Mind you, I don't really have a problem with gatekeeping. I just think that Lorna Shore, if you're like willing to enjoy that kind of music, you're probably open to a lot of like pretty good stuff. Like I personally, I didn't even really get into a lot of deathcore until the past few years. But I think a lot of the more modern stuff is like translated really well anyway. I think that there's a lot of bleed in between genres, be it deathcore or even like some black metal styles or any kind of death metal modern, or I mean even some of the classic stuff is kind of just bleeding into everything else. So at this point, deathcore at its core is kind of just bleeding into everything else, and everything else is kind of bleeding into it. I think it's kind of become one of those genres that you can kind of just smack on anything that's kind of heavy. But in the case of Lorna Shore, I think it is actually pretty solid deathcore. I think it's actually true to that title. And as far as expectations for this new single go, I did really like that last EP, obviously, and I Return to Nothingness is a solid collection of tracks. Just 3 really solid bang-out tracks. Obviously, To the Hellfire has become an exception to like a lot of different death metal enjoyments and accessibilities. Past the Elephant in the Room, just a really good set of tracks. I did also like their first album, Immortal, to a certain extent, so I'm gonna check out this new single, Cursed to Die. I'll come back to you with my thoughts, and we'll talk about it. Alright, I think that was kind of underwhelming. They've got a really, really good... They know what they're doing with the breakdown, but I'm not sure what I thought of most of that track. I can't say it was all that unexpected. They've landed on a formula, or at least they've thought they've landed on a formula with their last big hit with To the Hellfire, and it kind of sounds like they're trying to do a little bit of that again, not to the same extent, obviously. Comparing the two tracks is a little bit futile, because a lot of these tracks do sound kind of samey, but I don't know, it's a little bit like this is kind of too obvious. I like some of the melodic elements. I think most of them are done pretty decently. The mixing is a little bit off in my opinion. Sounds a little bit, it sounds like it wants to have a huge sound, that is, but the production just kind of makes it sound really claustrophobic. Like everything is way too close together in that mix. I'm not really sure. Like there's not a lot of really great track dynamics. Yeah, I'm not super stoked with that one. It's not a bad song. It's really not great though, very much kind of a middle-of-the-road track, not super stoked on it. I did enjoy some of the guitar solos towards the end of the song though, those are pretty good, you know, definitely not like bad performances here. This is kind of just to me a case of like a little bit bland writing. Anyway, I'm hoping that whatever they pull up with their next release, you know, is going to top this. It's a pretty low bar to hit, so I imagine that they should be able to top this, hopefully. But if this is the best that they've got for whatever album they're putting out next, or whatever EP or whatever, they're certainly on a step to miscalculation. So I'm not super hyped after this one, hoping that whatever comes next is a little bit more meaty, because this one was definitely kind of a foul ball. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this track in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe, and check out my Instagram, my Reverb, and my Depop. Links to those are in the description below. Thank you all so much again, and we'll see you on the flip side.